Welcome back to the Tuesday show. Let's talk about upcoming events now.
That's right.
And there is, in fact, an event coming up this weekend.
Yes, that is correct, but I'm trying to do my highlighty thing right now.
Oh, well, mission accomplished.
Bam! There you go. Yeah,
Screwed
okay.
up. Yeah.
Okay,
All right.
cool.
What do we got coming up?
Okay, so this weekend actually is the Capcom Pro Tour Asia. So if you guys remember, last year they did a Capcom Pro Tour Asia event. So a bunch of people qualify
With qualifiers. Yeah.
qualifiers to get to Asia, and then the Asia was a premier event. It was like round robin and all sorts of craziness or whatever like that.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the qualifiers is this weekend, and apparently it is the Shanghai qualifier.
Okay.
It is Capcom Pro Tour Asia Shanghai, and yeah, it's going to be taking place this weekend. I'm trying to see if I can find any streaming information here right now. But I would assume it's streamed on Capcom Fighters, perhaps?
I don't know.
I'm not sure here, but let me see.
It does not say.
Yeah, it doesn't say. So, but that's coming up this weekend. Also coming up this weekend is Dead or Alive Festival. So remember, they're doing this whole kind of like Capcom Pro Tourish thing as well.
Mm-hmm.
So they're trying to have a whole bunch of events that lead to a year-end event. So there's an event coming up this weekend as well in Japan. It looks like it's in the
Sweet.
Osaki Bright Core Hall. So and then also at Next Level Arcade in Brooklyn, there's going to be a tournament called Vortex to Victory, with a guaranteed prize for first place. It's going to be Ultra Street Fighter 4, $500 guaranteed. So this is just an event, fun event for the community. So
It's a non-profit event, apparently.
yeah, so it looks like
Community stuff.
yeah,
Cool.
a lot of the Pi guys are going to be there and such. So that's going to be cool. So definitely check that out. Probably see a lot of your favorite New York players.
Does it say who's streaming it?
It's got to be either Arturo.
Yep,
or,
it is.
Yeah.
NYC Furby.
So he's going to be streaming it, but it looks like he's saying it might be on Team Spooky's channel.
Folks, if you're gonna have an event and you have a stream, you gotta say
Just put that's
it.
That's the number one
Information.
Yeah. Schedule and where you're streaming.
Yeah.
Just needs to be.
It says stream by saving from Team Spooky, but that could mean either NYC Furby or Team Spooky. So
right, exactly.
that's all. I just want that info. But anyway, that's an event going on.
Okay. Yes. So those are coming up this weekend. Some other event news that's going on. Apparently, they've announced that the Philippines is going to have their first fighting game major. So they've had tournaments before, but now they're trying to initiate like a really big major. This is the Manila Cup.
Cool.
And it's scheduled for September 4th through 6th.
Okay.
So that's really cool. Yeah, shout outs to the Filipino community
That's awesome.
out there. Also, really kind of wanted to talk about this a little bit. So in October, one of the events is coming up is CE Taku,
Yes.
which is the all anime fighting games, or airdashers, or whatever you want to call them, because I get yelled at for calling them both.
Yeah.
Like someone was like, it would help if you stopped calling them anime games. I was like, fine. So there's air dashers, blah, blah. And someone's like, a lot of the games don't have air dashing, right? And I was like, dude, look.
It's one of those sort of BS categories that's not real.
Yeah, exactly.
People just lump them in together. So.
I don't know what to call it. I used to call them Arxis games, but that's totally unfair.
Yeah, that's totally gone too.
Right. So, but there's...
Anyway, what about them? That subset of games that everybody knows what we're talking about, but it's hard to describe.
Is all going to be at this event called CE Taku. So it's supposed to be a highlight for just those games. However, what happened was that Jabali felt that they were growing big enough that instead of having it at the original venue that he planned to have, and I don't know if there was problems or issues with that venue or anything like that, but he's moving it to the Wyndham Hotel. So he's actually moving it to where CEO is. However, as a result, the ballroom is much bigger now.
Uh-huh.
And so he really needs to get like a certain amount of people there.
Sure.
So what has happened recently was that he said he is considering putting Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 into the event. because it'll draw some extra players. He promises that their finals will either be the first on Sunday or even the last on Saturday or something like that. That it will not be the big, like it will get the least amount of stream time and all these things like that. Because he promised that this was going to be an all anime fighting game tournament, right? So he put out a poll for it and see what people think. And right now, the poll, the last time I checked, was overwhelmingly winning with put Marvel in there. But a lot of people are upset about that because they're like, you promised it would only be anime and, you know, all these things like this, right? So there's kind of been this little debate going on what he should do. And some people are arguing that Marvel is anime. I mean, because it kind of... I mean, look, Marvel is closer to anime games than it is to Street Fighter.
Oh, yeah,
right?
Of course.
So, you know...
It definitely fits both of those categories. It is anime, sort of in the literal sense.
Right.
And it also is an airdasher, also in the literal sense.
Right,
Right. I mean, like we were saying, that category of games is totally made up. And a lot of them don't have that much to do with each other, really. Right. It's just sort of... I don't even know how some of those games came to be included in that subset, but...
Because, like, even, like, the side tournament category, the Anime Evo... Like, they weren't all anime games.
Nah, it was like Gundam in there and stuff, you know what I mean? But for whatever reason they came in, they're all together. So, I mean, I think it kind of sucks to not want Marvel, I guess. But, you know, I'm not going to be too judgmental about it.
Yeah.
I get it that those games are historically underplayed and under-respected by a lot of other people, and that certainly... makes the people who like the games annoyed. I get that makes sense.
Right,
so I'm not going to be too critical about it.
So I mean, the two things that I'll say about it is that one, let's face it, I feel like Marvel got the shortest end of the stick at Evo, right? So I mean, maybe they're the struggling game. Maybe they need the anime.
I kind of think that's real, to be perfectly frank. I do. Yeah. Look, obviously Gundam is literally from anime. I mean, I get it. It's
a different fight. It's not even a
so
fight.
Yeah, exactly. As a game, it's so different.
That's like when I said that, you know, Luffy is the first non-Asian to win Evo, and everyone's like, "What are you talking about? He's Asian." I'm like non-born.
Yeah, it's different.
Born from Europe. Technicalities. Anyways, the other thing I want to say is I totally get it why they don't want Marvel there, and in fact. And this is not like I want to see you burn or anything like that. I really do want to see if they can pull it off. If they can get everybody to go to the event and it's just anime games. Like, I'm actually super curious about that. And Jabali also even put up a poll like, what other games should I include? And one of the things that he didn't have in there was KOF 13. And I think he should 100% put that in there.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like that's not in the same category.
Some people have called it anime because it looks way more anime than some of the other ones, but I mean, like you said, at this point, anime games really just means everything that's not the mainstream games.
Yeah, sort of. Like, I guess, like, presumably Under Night fits into anime games, right? But it's not an airdasher for sure. It plays much more like King of Fighters than...
Right, exactly. So
whatever.
But it looks like anime. But in any case... It'd be really interesting to see what they could pull off. The only problem, however, that I think will make it so that that's not fair to CEO Taku to use that as a gauge is that Canada Cup is like a weekend later or 2 weekends later. Yumicon is like 2 weeks later. SCR is in that month. There's like a ton of events, right? So people really going to have to pick and choose which event they go to.
Sure.
Right? And so if you do this like, oh, let's have this tournament with just anime games, but then someone's like, but I really, really want to go to Canada Cup, or I really, really want to go to SCR.
Yeah.
It's really kind of unfair to use that as a gauge. So from Jabali as a TO standpoint, he absolutely should put Marvel in there to make sure that he can recover his money back, you know, that kind of situation. Sure. So I would love to go to CEO Taku.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, I don't know if I can make it for the same reasons I just described, because SCR and like Canada Cup and Yumicon I think are on the same weekend too.
They are.
Which is so painful.
Yeah, that sucks for sure.
Really painful.
For sure.
But yeah, so so
I don't know, would we be allowed there?
Right? Yeah, I know.
Would that be cool, or would that be an issue to have the Street Fighter community
the
come
Capcom
in?
privileged is what,
exactly.
what I call it.
Is that,
so yeah,
is that okay with people? Even though all of my favorite games over the past, all of my favorite games have been not Capcom.
I know, right?
The only exception is the one that flamed out and died terribly, which was Cross Tekken.
Right.
Only exception.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny, too, because there's just been this recent controversy, or not even controversy, but a lot of people yelling about anime games on Twitter just recently that I've kind of gotten involved in. And, basically, some people were, trying to hype up the anime community by saying that it's like the players in the anime community are way more passionate about their game than Capcom players. And me personally, I just don't like combative language and like trying to compare communities because, frankly, let's talk to Combo Fiend and Hans and ask them how passionate they are about Street Fighter, right? Like the scene of Capcom is just like don't.
You know what it is? It's like I'm a big college football fan, right? And and college football fans will say things like, "Man, there's nobody more passionate than Cal." Right. Cal fans are number one. Nobody's more passionate than Cal fans. But it's just BS.
Right.
It's total BS. It's just what you say because you're a fan of that team, and that's it. And it can be hard to look past your own interest in the game, especially if it's like somebody. Cal's relatively small, right? When it comes to football, it's not that big a deal. Especially if it's like Cal versus like Ohio State, I'll try to live up my end of the Cal because I know that we're like 1% of Ohio State fans, and so I'm trying to like boost us, But in reality, I know that in fact Ohio State fans are just as all about their team. They just happen to be a good team.
But here's the thing, right?
A popular team.
Like UCLA versus USC, right? Or Berkeley versus Stanford, right?
Yeah.
Like, you're supposed to hate the other guy. You're supposed to be buddy.
Yeah.
But in the fighting game community right now, we don't have room for that. Like, I totally agree. So while you can sit there and be like, because like it was funny, because when that happened, I started arguing. It was like, anime game players are always saying we're stuck in the back. We've always been, left behind and stuff like that. And I was like, dude, talk to some Virtua Fighter players. Talk to some KOF players, right? And as soon as I said that, someone tweeted me a tweet from Bala from when the Evo lineup was announced. And his tweet was, like, I know Persona players love their game, but there's no one more passionate about their games than KOF.
Of course, I mean,
right?
That's just what people do.
It's just the way it works, right? So,
especially if you're from some smaller thing that has a chip on its shoulder,
right?
Like Cal, we haven't been to the Rose Bowl in 60 years, and we're not going to get there. All right? Can I be honest? It's not going to happen. All right? Crazy things would have to occur for that to happen, and I know that. So when it comes to pumping up my team and cheering for my team, I'm sort of coming from this territory of like, screw you, big schools.
Right. No. I totally understand
that's what it is. That's all it is.
I just feel like right now it's bad for the community because it creates a rift. Because now you're like, our game is better than yours, our players are better than yours, and I just don't feel like we need to create this separation.
I agree.
I'm all for look how passionate the anime game fans are, and absolutely right. They had an awesome salty suite at Evo. Daisuke Ishiwatari, the creator of Guilty Gear, went there and played Guilty Gear with everybody. Like, the creator played Guilty Gear with everybody. That's super awesome, right? He was interviewed there and everything like that.
Yeah.
I will say one thing though. There is one game where the creator does this every week, and that is Skullgirls.
Yeah.
So every week he's always playing with his players. So, but it's just like a lot of cool things happened in that situation, and they're frustrated about the lack of coverage on SRK and stuff like that. Yeah, but again, in that situation, it's the whole thing again where people see Shoryuken as like some giant like conglomerate, and it's like, here's money, go do reporting, and it's literally just another game blog that's like run by like a few people, right? So I mean, I don't like seeing this kind of like, I need to bring you down to lift me up kind of attitude. I would rather see, I'm all about peace and love everywhere.
Look, we talked about this before, but I still feel like the Anaheim Ducks are an underdog team.
Right.
And it's been a long time since that's actually been the case. So I totally know how it is to be a fan of things that nobody else likes or that few other people like, and that you're sort of going through life always challenging. Especially living in Los Angeles, everybody's a Kings fan, and we always have this conversation about the Ducks and the Kings. Oh, it's like so obnoxious.
I mean, the funny thing too is,
so I'm not going to be too critical about it, but it's it's unproductive.
Right. So the one thing I will say is that I don't even think it's fair to say it's Capcom games get biased. It's just Street Fighter.
Oh yeah.
Right, like if you're going to talk about bias and advantage and all this stuff.
Well, I don't know if that's true. It's Marvel also. I think it's
Marvel, but like I said, Marvel got kind of the short end of the stick at EVO this year. Like it literally had the smallest pop bonus,
I know.
least amount of stream time.
Well, it did get second to last stream.
Yeah, it's not going to do
it
that.
Definitely
next
will
year.
not.
It's not going to do that next year. I'll say that much.
It won't.
So. Yeah, so, I mean, a lot of people are frustrated with the way Marvel turned out at EVO as well. So, I mean, the thing about it is, like, Vampire Savior community is down there as well. Let's talk to you and Ryan Hart about Street Fighter Cross Tekken and how much advantage that game got, and stuff like that, right? And secondly, the other point that I brought out was that the Capcom players probably shit on Smash and NRS more than they do the anime community.
Yeah, I think you're just anecdotally that sounds right to me. Yeah,
and those two communities are doing fine.
Yeah, Smash is bigger than Street Fighter.
Right, and so there's really no basis in saying that Capcom is holding anyone back because it's not holding them back, right? They're doing just fine. Yeah,
but it was like that for a long time.
It was.
That's why I brought up the Ducks, because it's hard to get out of that mentality.
Yeah,
it is. Even though for the last 10 years they've been one of the best teams in the league consistently, I still have that feeling about it, and I still feel slighted when news coverages. They don't cover the Ducks in the same way. I mean, really, that's not real, but I still feel like that because it was like that back in the day.
Yeah.
So.
But, but see, you're even...
A-sports.
You're willing to sit here and be like, you know what, I totally understand that's not true anymore.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that still believe that anime is being held back.
Sure.
Right? And think of it this way. EVO, 2 anime games this year. 2 Arxis games. That was unheard of before. Before, every other year was like, which one game is going to make it? And then 2 made it in this year. That's huge. And then, so someone argued with me was like, the reason why Smash and NRS don't get hurt by Capcom hating on them is because they have casual appeal. And I was like, you just described exactly the reason why there's not as many people playing the anime games. Like you just illustrated that point perfectly, right? Everyone knows who Ryu and Ken are. Everyone knows who Scorpion and Sub-Zero are. Everyone knows Wolverine and Storm. Everyone knows Mario, Luigi, Pikachu, and stuff like that. And in fact, if you go to EVO and take out all the games with those popular characters, on Sunday there's only Xrd left. I mean, that's pretty great for Xrd getting on Sunday like that, right? Like, instead of... Because he could have put Smash Wii U there.
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean... Again, there's so much growing in the anime community. My whole point is that they are growing, things are good for them, they need to recognize the good that's happening and take advantage of that and ride that and stop sitting here thinking anybody's holding them back. Because as long as they maintain that attitude, they're going to create more enemies. And I think that's a frustrating thing. You know what I mean? You need to be more welcoming. And at the same time, while I'm saying all this, at the same time, all the other communities need to start being nicer to the lesser games, I guess, the smaller communities.
Yeah.
Right? Don't just be sitting here being like, your game doesn't matter or whatever like
that.
Man. Try them out, play it. Get your friends to try playing the games. Because you may have a friend who loves fighting games, right? And but it turns out he just doesn't like the game that you like. He just doesn't like Street Fighter because Street Fighter's boring and it's slow. But then he picks up Guilty Gear and he's like, holy crap, this game is amazing, right? You would rather have your friend play a fighting game than no fighting game, right? Because there's all those stories like, I can't get any of my friends to play fighting games. Maybe it's because the only fighting game you're trying to get them to play is Street Fighter. Maybe that's not their scene. Maybe,
or whichever game.
Yeah, Marvel is, maybe Mortal Kombat X is more fun for them, So I want to see support in both directions. I know I've been gearing a lot of criticism to the anime community, but I definitely want to apply a lot of criticism to the Capcom community,
of course,
or whatever like that, because, like I said, even the way they treat Smash, I yell at them all the time about that too, about not being inclusive to Smash and stuff.
Yeah,
like
dude,
that.
somebody on the chat just a little bit ago was saying, they said, like, in response to me saying that Smash is bigger than Street Fighter, I said, Smash is not bigger than Street Fighter, it just has more fans. That was actually on that chat. What does that mean? It's like,
that means it's bigger than Street Fighter.
Yeah. So, you know, it's something that everybody has to get over in all the different scenes. You think that your game is the best. That's why you're playing it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Presumably. But, you know, there's a lot of good stuff going on in all the games. They all have things to offer. A
lot of people said one of the hard things is that you don't have enough time to play all the games. You really have to pick and choose your
Sure,
game,
I understand.
Right?
Yeah.
And look, dude, all I have time for is Splatoon these days.
Well,
right?
It's already set. We're right within the set of video game time. This much of it is taken up.
Right.
There's nothing you can do about it.
Exactly. But you know what?
It's already taken.
Just because I don't play enough Guilty Gear, or I don't play enough Mortal Kombat, or I don't play enough Killer Instinct, or I don't play enough Blaze Blue or anything like that, doesn't mean that I can't appreciate these games and I don't love every single one of these games, you know? I do. I like all of these games, and I want them all to succeed. And it's rough because I know there's not that much space for 20 games to succeed.
Yeah,
I would love to see 10 games successful all the time. You know, we've pushed Dive Kick, we've pushed Skullgirls, we've pushed all sorts of games out there, and you know, I'm the more games the better. And if you want to talk up your game, understand that you will have an uphill battle against a lot of those other games, like the mainstream games. But learn to be welcoming to them. You really kind of do have to extend your hand first. It's an unfortunate situation. It's an unfortunate situation, you know.
I feel like people should go into more situations with that sort of philosophy, just in general.
Right.
That even if you don't need to depend on the other person extending their hand first, it's always nice to go into situations being the one to do that. Mm-hmm. It's just helpful.
Yeah. Just in general.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I mean.
For sure.
It makes a lot of better situations happen.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, anyways, that's my soapbox for the day. So.
Yeah. It's not, I definitely get it.
Okay.
I definitely get it. I mean, I get both sides, but I agree with you that it's better overall to be more helpful and accepting and welcoming and blah blah blah, not combative.
Yeah.
You're not on teams.
Right.
You're not teams.
Exactly. And you know,
it's not like that.
Someone said it was Reagan or Jimmy Carter. The whole rising tide raises all boats.
Turns out that was Kennedy.
It was Kennedy. Okay.
Shout outs to whoever corrected me on that. I said it was Reagan. It certainly became most popular when it came to trickle-down economics, but I didn't know Kennedy said it first.
Yeah, but it's a great quote. It's a great quote, though. A rising tide raises all boats. You know, that's basically what it is. And for the fighting game community, I mean, some people were like, you know, the whole Ogawa thing and the Ogawa Woshige thing on SportsCenter doesn't do anything for the anime community because it was making fun of a player mistake and that's not what we want to get known for and blah, 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 blah. Wow. And I was like, dude, thanks to that, everybody in the fighting game community knows who Ogawa and Woshige are now. So if you hear Ogawa and Woshige are going to play each other in a rematch, you don't even have to say what the game is and everyone's going to be like, oh crap, I need to go watch this.
That's true.
You know what I mean? It's like, you just got to look at the positive side of everything. Like, I don't know. That's how I live my life, and trust me, I've gotten screwed plenty of times for thinking this way. But I don't know. I still do it.
Why would you complain about ESPN covering? That's silly.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyways,
it's not like some make or break moment. I don't think, but it's helpful, of course.
Yeah. Exactly. It's not because not only that too, but they said, oh, this happened at the Evo Championships, the world's largest fighting game tournament. Yeah, they said that on stream. So now there's a whole bunch of people.
On TV.
Yeah, and now there's a whole bunch of people who are like, oh, blah, 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 I went to this game tournament. And they're like, oh, I think I heard about that on ESPN. I think I saw something about that on ESPN. Mm-hmm. That's already a win right there. And what did they see? They saw Milia.
And Washigi.
Yeah, exactly. So, anyways, okay. Real talk, how good is Splatoon?
It's very
Someone
good.
just asked that question. Yeah. Dude, that game is amazing.
You know, for all the debate about the anime scene, not debate, but, you know, issues we've been talking about, man, NRS scene is definitely farther down that road.
Wait, farther down which road?
The road of that the Capcom scene is keeping them down, and that...
right.
You know, Street Fighter, blah, 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 this and that. MK is the best, you know.
Dude,
they're way in that hole.
They've already had a couple events where they took over Street Fighter as the main event.
Yeah, that's probably over. That probably will never happen again.
But again...
that did happen.
It's unfortunate because it's honestly not the NRS community's
All I want to do is cry about it. Right. Believe me.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that earlier today, that it's such a missed opportunity. I'm quite sad about how it's
the PC release and the netcode and the patches.
Yeah, those are probably the biggest things, but there's community issues that are probably not far behind, too, to be frank.
Yeah. So. I've actually heard some complaints, and this is universal, not just anime community, but there's a lot of segmentation even within their own community, like splintered groups and stuff
in
like
MK?
that. Yeah, in MK and the anime community.
Well, like I said, I mean, the anime thing is more of just a made-up category, where I get why you would feel separate from some other games.
Well, I mean, even within your own game, like apparently,
okay.
I guess there's like cliques or something like that. So.
Well, that's very strong in MK for sure,
and frankly, Street Fighter as well.
No, of course, yeah.
So it happens.
Yeah, it happens in all the games, no doubt about that.
Yep. But man, MKX, dude.
I haven't played it in a couple of weeks, gonna be honest, and the reason is I just don't want to put time into something that I can have no certainty about. I just don't want to do that anymore. Yeah. It's just frustrating for me.
Like, I mean, a lot of people probably want to, because everyone's always surprised when I tell them I like MKX, right? I really enjoy the game. And
it's a lot of fun.
I'm really sad that it didn't get the success that it should have had. That it absolutely was in prime position to get. Prime position to get, so, yep.
Well, it'll live. It's not dead or anything. It'll be around for a long time, but, you know, it's not as big as it could have been. Anyway, anything else to talk about for now?
Someone in the chat says, that's why Marvel's the best. No patches.
Well, a little bit on the other end.
Yeah, I know, exactly.
Too far on the other end of the spectrum, but
yeah. Nothing that I can think of, I guess, in terms of events or anything like that.
Actually, there was one more event.
Oh, which one?
Which was the one in Dallas.
Oh, yes, that's right. So, we just got, there's like some crazy, like 10K event coming up.
Yeah.
So let me see if I can find it.
In a week and a half in Dallas, there's a big event that we talked about briefly, I think, but not that much. And it's not this weekend, it's the next weekend. But we did want to bring it up in case anybody has the chance to travel to it. Because it's really big. So it's in Keller, Texas, August 7th through 9th. And it's called EGL Dallas. 10K, because as you can see on your screen there, $10,000 prize pool for Street Fighter, $10,000 for Smash Wii U, and for MKX,
and Call of Duty
and Call of Duty as well. So I mean, that's
I don't know if you guys can read that. Apologies if it's a little bit too small, but I just wanted to get the whole slide on there. So, but it's presented by Verizon Fios.
Yeah, I mean, clearly it's a big thing. Yeah. There's Monsters sponsoring it and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
I mean, I feel like that's not as advertised as something of that stature you would expect it to be. Yeah. At least for me, I haven't heard that much about it. Okay. So check it out if you're interested.
Yeah, people saying they can read it on stream. That's cool. Then. Yeah, but that's absolutely really cool. August 7th through 9th at it looks like the Keller Point on 405 Roof Snow Drive, Keller, Texas. So definitely check that out if you're in Texas. I think that's great. Texas. There's just so many talented players in Texas.
Yeah, it's a big region, you know.
So, for sure.
Okay.
Cool, that's right. Okay, well, I guess there's not much game news coming out right now. I guess I just should mention that, Shining Series Fighter Blade Arceus is coming to PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4 on November 26th. I believe this is the Sega game that, is the fighting game based off of, the Shining Force, the Shining series. So I think that's why it's called the Shining Series Fighter Blade Arceus. And then also, I guess, Nitro plus Blasters console release just came out on they are getting a console release on PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4 this winter.
Okay.
So both of those games will be coming out in the winter.
Okie doke.
Yep.
Oh yeah, we forgot to mention this thing.
That's right. So this last weekend was the Topenga ranking battle. Which one is this one? It's just week 2, Tokyo results.
Okay.
So I guess this is the Tokyo results, and in Ultra Street Fighter 4, on the first, is it round robin, or how does this work? I'm not sure. Point distribution here. Oh no, I guess it's just placing. It's just placing. Okay. So on the first day, the tournament was won by Akimo, the Elena player that we saw at CEO, who's come out to CEO. Fudo got second with 9 points. Nishikin Blanca got third. And it's tied with Kibetsu because it's a single elimination. 5th place was Kawaguchi Rose, Kyoko Yang, Gonzalez Seth, and Torachi Adon. And on day 2, Tokido won.
Good stuff.
With 12 points there with Akuma. Yosan Juri got 2nd place. Kazunoko, ZV Kazunoko, with Yun got 3rd. Tied with Tuna's Juri for 7 points. And then 5th place tied was Nemo, Shiro, Yubiken Shiro, Black Eye Nemo, Asakumo with Yun, and also Kichijoji Ken with Ken.
All right.
So that's Tokyo, and I guess Osaka.
Oh, there's a whole bunch of regions.
Yeah, so Osaka had Rokun Seth taking 1st place. Mago got 2nd. Ryukichi with Evil Ryu and Fei Long. Oh, interesting. They actually let them change characters. Okay, because normally they character lock their tournaments, right, in Japan. So Mago played Yang and Fei Long. Tied with Ryukichi was Sabohani with Sea Viper, Dogra, Yume Miru, Chanson Ningyo.
Usually I'm the one to announce results, but I'm happy it's you this
I know. Kapichu and WoW all tied with 5th place using Rolento, Barog / Oni / Akuma, Kami, and Oni.
Of course.
And then Fukuoka's results, Darui won with Dalsum.
Yeah, I heard about this. I haven't had a chance to see it, but I heard that's awesome. Darui's really good.
Yeah. Dude, I don't know. I mean, do you still think Dalsum's bottom 5?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, even despite, like, Arturo doing super well and, like, this kind of stuff happening?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I just think it's a pretty balanced game.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I think he's
I mean, I can't even say I would not put him in bottom 5. Even though I don't think he's that bad, I still don't think I could pull him out of bottom 5. Yeah. 2nd place was Peppadai with Fuerte. Bonchan was in 3rd place with Sagat, as well as Cha, who used Rufus. Kirisame used Yang, tied with Izumi Kota with Gen, tied with Chibi Hige with Yun, and tied with Mizuteru with Seth.
With Seth, huh? Interesting.
There's a lot of Seths in these. So there's like a Seth because Rokun won, and then
Gonzalez was in the first one.
there, yeah. So there you go.
A couple of juries in one of those top 8s as well.
Yeah, that's right. So
that's cool.
Yeah, there you go. So definitely cool stuff. Of course, Topenga, they always run all these qualifiers to get into the Topenga League, which is the big old event where they have the A League and the B League.
Very cool.
The people who did poorly in last... So the A League is like the elite of the elite, and they're all round robin. The people who did the poorest are in danger of dropping into the B League. The people who did the best in the B League have the ability to get into the A League. So I think they like play out the B League with all these qualifiers, and then whoever wins gets to play the lowest people of the A League to get into the A League. So very cool stuff.
It's a cool format.
Very
no
grueling tournament, but yeah, very cool stuff. So,
all right. Well,
I guess that was event and game news.
It was.
Yeah. So
hashtag Ink Sports.
Do you want to take a break or just go into Ink Sports now?
I don't know. How much do you want to talk about?
Let's go into Ink Sports. Let's do it. Let's just do it. So we've been playing and even streaming Splatoon recently. Yeah. You've streamed it twice now. Mm-hmm. The game is it's so much fun. It's still super fun for me. So.
It's still super fun for me too. In fact, it's become more fun as I've gotten better used to it because, at the start I was really just being very particular about it and only playing with Splash Wall, which is good. I still feel it's very good, but over the past few weeks I've been trying to branch out a little bit just to understand the game better and see if I could find other things that I liked in the game. And for sure, I do like other things in the game. I'm finding it really tough to learn some stuff. I'm terrible with the brush, and I know that. And so it's taking me. It's less obvious for me, at least, how to use than other weapons, and so it's interesting to sort of figure it out. You know, how I should be using it, where my sweet spots are, and where I want to approach, and how I want to approach, and what I want to do in general.
The biggest problem with the brush, honestly, is you just have to mash so fast on that trigger button. Because that one weapon actually makes a difference on how fast you mash it, unlike the Octo Brush, which has a maximum speed.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, so if you mash on it, you just go to a certain speed. But the other one, like, I've actually gotten to a point where I'll take 2 of my fingers on the trigger and do this sometimes just to swing even faster. Because by far, like, if you get up next to somebody, requires the least amount of aim, and you can kill someone the fastest with it.
Right.
Because it's just dead.
Right.
But you have to get that close, which is the hard part. So you definitely have to do a lot more sneak attacks with it.
Right, yeah. So it's a kind of style that I'm not used to playing in games. When I first started playing it, I wanted to liken it to a grappler, but it's not like that at all. It's not like that at all. You do want to be up close. It's sort of like an assassin, like you're playing like Blade Master in Warcraft 3 or something like that, where you're good up close, but you sort of want to sneak around otherwise, and it's good, but it's just a very different style. So I'm trying to figure that out. But in the meantime, it's been a lot of fun to stream. I know a lot of people have been playing with us, which is awesome.
Yeah. So one of the guys that I've played with a lot, so you saw Mario 128 on there. I've played with him a bunch of times. Like, I'll just be on and he'll find me, and then he'll just start joining my games. That guy is amazing at the ink brush.
No doubt.
The ink brush, he has that weapon down pat.
No doubt.
But dude, some of those guys that we played with are super good. So, which goes back to my theory that the fighting game players are the best at everything.
Let me tell you, James, no community is more passionate about its games than the fighting game community.
Exactly. I mean, it's kind of goes with what Seth always tells everyone to get them into the indie booth at EVO, is that they're going to break the games better than anybody else. So, yeah, for sure. But
anyway, so there is actual news when it comes to Splatoon. They announced that in early August, a couple of weeks from now, week and a half from now, they'll add in a bunch of new stuff. New weapon types. Right. That bucket, for example, whatever the heck that's about.
I don't even know how that's going to work.
I don't know.
That's because the brushes were different, but they were still very roller-based. They're still kind of in that roller class. But this bucket looks like something completely different.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And then really the biggest news is with the competitive side of it, because it will allow you to play teams, set teams, which you cannot do right now. You can play in a lobby, but within that lobby, the 8 people are randomized which team they go on. So it's really not a team-based thing right now. But it will be like that in the future, so we can start thinking about roles and strategies and all the complex stuff that I'm really excited about. And we'll talk on Skype or whatever we use, whichever one, while we're playing. And I'm really, really looking forward to that. And on top of that, you can set up private lobbies. You can do a semi-LAN sort of situation, local area network sort of situation, which can be useful in tournaments as well. So those are the biggest things, I think, because it can take the game from being a really fun game that has a lot of players and is quite successful to being more of a competitive thing. Right. So and given the way that Nintendo has dealt with Smash, right? It's not perfect, but it's you can see that there's sort of that general increase in them accepting competitive play. Right? It's sort of a general trend. And there's some downs, but it's mostly ups. I feel like that'll continue with Splatoon. Yeah, I mean, they're also adding like a Gatling gun, it looks like, so I'm curious to see how that's going to work. Like, how's that going to be fair unless they just make it like the worst range humanly possible? Maybe you can't aim well. I don't know. Oh, that's true. Maybe it shakes or something like that. But honestly, like, I can't wait to get those team things, because I really want to play like with you on my team consistently, where we can develop strategies. We have completely different ideas on how to play the game, which is very evident based on our Street Fighter game. Like, I'm just rushing in like crazy. Like, I'm just like, everyone was saying that like I was like yelling a lot on my stream. And it's just because I'm like literally just like
I'm going in like, gotcha. You know, I was just like going crazy and stuff like that. Because that's just how I play, because that's how I like to play fighting games. You know, I just like to keep going in at you, right?
Yeah.
And you're very concerned about the spacing and like controlling space and stuff. I just feel like that's perfect. Like, if we can get 2 other perfect people on our team, like, I just feel like we have like something really awesome that we'd be able to get. Yeah. So I'm like super excited about that. So.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
I think that's really cool news, and I'm looking forward to seeing what, whether Nintendo will help push it or what. I mean, look, they have commercials that have fighting game players with little taglines.
It's on TV.
Yeah, I heard it was on TV for real.
I
haven't seen it.
It was on TV. Someone said they saw it on the USA Network.
Yeah,
the one with my quote on there. Like, I'm literally on this TV stream with a quote on there.
Like, who would even know?
Dude, that's what I was wondering. I was like, what does that
no
even...
offense, but like, who even knows?
I was talking about this with my brother. I was like, what does that even mean to anybody?
Right.
Like, who the fuck is James Chen? Like,
right.
Who even cares? Like, you could have put any name there, and it
it
would have made no difference.
Yeah.
Like, literally would have made no difference. Like, even the YouTube page where they have the commercial there, like, I was scrolling through the comments, nobody said anything because they don't even know who the hell I am. Like, what does it even matter?
Noted niche video game player,
Charlie
Gerbson.
Yeah, seriously, dude, who cares? Like, you literally could have made up any name and put it there, and it would have been the exact same thing. So, yeah, exactly. So, yeah.
I haven't seen the commercial on TV. Well, I don't really have TV, actually. I don't think about it. I just have like Hulu and whatever. So. Anyway, that's all cool. That's cool news.
Yep.
Ink Sports.
Yeah. Super exciting.
Ink Sports.
Super fun game. And, I should probably mention that both of us are going to try streaming other things more often, fighting games and stuff like that. So if we both play Splatoon, whoever gets the UltraChenTV channel first will be on there, and then the other person. So what last time we did was I played on the jchensor channel. If I happen to start up and you're like, oh, I want to play too, then you'll be on the UltraDavid channel. So, you guys can follow jchensor and UltraDavid as well on Twitch. And also, like, let's say some people were saying I really need to start playing that Batman game, right, on stream. So if I'm on UltraChen playing that, and then David's like, I really want to come on and play something else, then he'll be on UltraDavid as well.
There you go.
So there you go. So follow those.
We'll be doing that more.
Yeah, for sure.
One other thing to talk about we haven't brought up yet.
Okay.
If we're done with Splatoon.
Yeah, I'm done with Splatoon.
Summer Games Done Quick.
Yes.
SGDQ 2015 is going on all this week. I hope you've been watching so far. If you haven't, you screwed up.
Yeah.
You've been screwing up. But you can easily remedy that by checking them out at twitch.tv/gamesdonequick.
Yeah, and the Tetris segment was yesterday.
Yeah, I want to know what you think about that.
Dude, they made me... I donated so much money because of that.
Yeah.
Like, before it started, I donated, and they read my thing on stream.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then I really wanted to see if I could get them to read, like, the most ridiculous thing possible, so I donated a little bit more, and they didn't read it.
Yeah,
so.
That's been my experience, too. The stupid things rarely get read, unfortunately.
But it was super good. It was awesome to watch. Again, like, every time I watch the Tetris block, I'm just like, I just need to pick up the board. I just need to start playing this, because I want to... There's only 6 Grandmasters in the world for Grandmaster 3, right? I'll never get there just because of time constraints and whatever like that. I would like to certainly try. I would certainly love to try. And like Kevin DDR, the only U.S. player who's done it. Well, actually, there might be one more. I can't remember. He's definitely the first U.S. player. He was one of the guys playing there. Mm-hmm. They got some of the Japanese guys to come and play. Those Japanese guys are ridiculous. Mm-hmm. That guy, player Khan, dude, he got 5 minutes. He got like the Grandmaster ranking. It was just like, dude, so nuts. But I mean, I honestly would be like, I really want to study under Kevin. Like, I want him to teach me how to get to that level.
Awesome. I'm sure they have all sorts of strats that be helpful.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's like all these crazy techniques that they know and stuff like. Because the thing about it is, when I'm watching it, like, I've played Tetris enough that I know what they're doing.
Well, yeah, of course.
I see their strategy, and like there are times that I can clearly see the audience like nervous because the stack pile is way up high. And like in my mind, I'm like, there's no danger at all. Like, there's just no danger. He's gonna get through this, no problem. And then sure enough, he gets to it, and everyone's like, oh, amazing. And I'm like, dude, what, come on, you Tetris plebes. But I mean, like, I can see what they're doing. I just can't do it that fast. Mm-hmm. I just can't do it that fast. And I don't know the proper, like, basically endgame Tetris, once it starts dropping super fast, it's the pyramid. You have to play this pyramid strategy. And I do not have all the tactics for that yet. So I'm, like, really bad at that phase. Okay. So when the pieces start dropping too fast, like, I can simulate it, but I just don't know it well enough to work it in my brain fast enough. Like, the Japanese player, there was never a bad piece for him.
Yeah, he looks like he's made out of Tetris. Yeah. It's in his body now. It's played so much, it's part of him. Yeah,
he literally, every time he had a piece that couldn't fit anywhere, he knew exactly where to put it and create an overhang that he could fill up later on. And it was never a problem for him. In fact, there was times where I would see a piece, I'm like, he's obviously going to put it here because that's the best place to put it. He would just create this weird overhang all of a sudden. I'm like, what the hell? And then it's like 3 pieces later, it was gone. I was just like, dude, this guy's amazing, dude.
Yeah, I noticed that they do purposely set up overhangs and even little, I don't know what the word for it is, but they leave little gaps occasionally, seemingly on purpose. Yeah. In a way that I've never done that. I'm not a Tetris player, right? I've certainly played it many times, but like, I'm not a Tetris player.
Right.
And I would never think to do that. So it's very cool to see actual people who know actual strategy play that game. It's awesome.
It's so funny too, because Twitch is blocked at my work, right? So I was sitting there watching on my phone at my desk, and I'm sitting there, and one of my coworkers walks by and starts talking to me, and he knows about Summer Games Done Quick, and I was like, dude, they're playing Tetris right now, and it's the most ridiculous thing. It's like, it's so ridiculous. I'm like, they're playing so fast, and he liked Tetris, so he was like, okay. It's like, how fast are they playing? And I went like this. And he was just like, oh my god. Because it's just a whole different thing that you've never seen before. It's like all those comments you just saw from all the donators. They're like, I never knew Tetris could be this hype. Yeah. Like, I just didn't know Tetris could be played like that. Yeah. So. And I really like the rule set that the Grandmaster series does. What's interesting is that they play tested the Grandmaster 4, which they said was a canceled project that they brought back thanks to AGDQ.
Yeah, how about that?
And but the problem is it has a different rule set than the standard Tetris. So every Tetris game right now, official Tetris game, has to play by a certain rule set. And the Grandmaster has a slightly varied rule set on how things rotate and fall into place and how long pieces land and lock. Like, all those things are standardized across all the games. So I don't know how that's going to pan out. I don't know if they can release it in America. And in fact, the Tetris official Twitter even tweeted out, they're like, we see all the hype for TGM4. We can't really say anything about it right now, but just keep it tabs and stuff like that. Like, I really hope that they're willing just to be like, okay, we'll let this one slide through.
Is there like some Tetris governing body or something?
Yeah, run by Hank Rogers, and I think Pajnatov is on it now. Pajnatov, I can never pronounce his name correctly.
Yeah,
the guy who created the game. Yeah. But I know Hank Rogers, who was the lawyer who went to Russia and got everything over there. Yeah, so he's the guy who got all that stuff over there. He's on the Tetris governing body now.
How do they have any authority? I don't even get it.
Because I think it had to do with Pajnatov or something like. I don't know how it all went down, but he's definitely. Yeah, that's right. Because Tetris right now is the U.S. releases. Ubisoft has the right to it, so they released the most recent one.
How are there still rights?
I don't know how it works, because obviously
patent only lasts a certain amount of time.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I don't know how that works.
Maybe there's some trademark concerns. I don't know. Anyways, I'll look into that later. I'm just interested.
It was funny too, because I had all these Tetris trinkets on my desk and stuff like that. And one of my coworkers before walked by, and she was like, "You're a huge fan of Tetris?" I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Oh, I grew up with like the daughter of like someone who created Tetris or something like that, right?" And I was like, it can't be Pajnatov. So I was like, is it Hank Rogers? She's like, yeah, that's exactly what it is. So she's friends with like the daughter, Maya Rogers. It was just like, I was just like, can you introduce me so you can introduce me to Hank Rogers? Yeah. Because I want to meet Hank Rogers. But yeah, no, Tetris
it was a really good block. So it's always really fascinating to watch.
And I mean, I've said this before. Tetris, I think, is the greatest video game ever created. Someone was like, even more than Street Fighter? And I was like, dude, it's not even close. Yeah. That's how much I love Tetris. That's how much.
That's cool.
I think Tetris is just like the greatest thing ever. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, have you watched much of the rest of SGDQ?
I haven't had a chance. Like I said, unfortunately, most of the time it's blocked at my work. So,
right.
Yeah, so I actually can't watch it as much as I would love to. So
at my work, which is my apartment, and also my office that I rent, I've been watching it. I've been watching it a bunch. It's been awesome to watch. There's been so many good segments.
I have watched some like at night, but I haven't watched a lot. So
it's just off and on in the background for me. I'm doing other work, but it's I can hear them or whatever.
I can't believe you talk smack about Ghosts and Goblins music. I'm still upset about that.
Is it as good as you remember?
The first song is. The rest of the music can be hit or miss.
When I said that, they were in fact they had not yet started. The gameplay was on video, but they had the music from some other game.
Oh, okay.
And it was some like silly cartoony music, and I was like, this is not how I remember it at all. But it turned out it was just some different games.
Oh, okay.
But even once they got started, I feel like I remember it being good, and it just is not that good. In my opinion.
The original song is still, like, to me, one of the most classic melodies ever.
I don't know.
Ding, 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 ding. And, because it's like a ragtime song. And in fact, there's actually some ragtime musician who, there's this crazy guy, basically, who just sight reads music and ragtimes it and then just, like, improvises on the spot. Like, and his friend is a fan of video game music, so he'll just get random video game songs and be like, here, try to play this, and he'll write out the music sheet himself and hand it to the guy, and the guy just looks at it, starts playing, and he did the Ghosts and Goblins theme, and it's like seriously like one of the most amazing videos I've ever seen. It's like one of my favorite videos to watch because it's like the music is just ridiculous. He plays it so ridiculous. So yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
Tom Breer, that's exactly who it is. Thank you, I Flourish. That's exactly who it is. Yeah. Oh, dude, he streams? Really? Dude, I gotta check that out. I gotta check that out. But yeah, Ghosts and Goblins original music is so good.
You know what I watched today that I thought was really good actually was Rayman.
Really?
Yeah, they have a lot of really cool strategies for making Rayman go fast.
Nice.
That's the kind of thing that I really like.
Yeah.
There are two things that I like the most, I would say, in watching SGDQ and AGDQ. One is those games that like I didn't think anybody would run like that because I always you see things that you didn't know about,
right?
And that's awesome,
right? And
so it's like unexpected and cool. The other thing that I really like is seeing games that everybody played. And that everybody knows, and that everybody has thought. If you have thought about speedrunning at all, or even if you just like to play video games well, you've tried to do it quickly.
Right.
I tried to do Ocarina of Time quickly before I even knew what speedrunning was because I just liked the game.
Right.
A lot of people did that.
Right.
So I like that because I feel like those are like the games that have the most competition of sorts, and so the people who speedrun it well are like really good because they have to be really good because there's so much comp. So I'd like to watch that. That's cool.
And the other cool thing about them too is since everyone plays it, everyone knows them. So you really do get an appreciation of the true WTF moments.
Right.
Like we watch some other games. Like here's some crazy skip, and you're like, I've never seen this game before. So
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, I remember now. I did watch the Silent Hill 2 run as well.
Oh, you did? Yeah, I didn't watch.
I watched the last 3/4 of it pretty much. And, the thing about it is, Silent Hill can only be so crazy speedrunning-wise. It was just really funny to see some of the tactics they used to kill some of the bosses and stuff like that. Like, there's the fight you fight with Eddie Dombrowski. Did you play the game?
Did not play that game.
So you're fighting in a meat locker, right? But apparently if you stand in just the right spot, Eddie Dombrowski comes up and tries to punch you, but he hits the meat first, and so it takes away his hitbox or something. So he actually just can't punch you. So he just swings at you all day, and you're just like, whatever, and you kill him. Yeah, so it's always funny. And they did have some sequence skips, which were pretty crazy.
That's cool.
Like there was a bug to make it so that text would appear on screen and it wouldn't go away, and it would prevent other things from happening, so they could like skip sequences and stuff. So it was actually kind of interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it wasn't like super. It wasn't like it's Silent Hill 2. You're just gonna see him running a bunch, so it wasn't like super amazing or anything like that. It was cool to kind of get a recap of the game though. So.
What do you think about this save the animals or kill the animals thing?
They do it every year. They do it every year. I'm always pro save the animals. Always pro save the animals. So every time I donate, I put all my money to save the animals.
Really?
Yeah, every time. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really care either way. I just think it's weird to phrase it like that. That's all. Because she's not like, you're not like walking through and like killing animals. You're not like,
right.
You know?
You just don't save them.
Yeah.
It's literally save the animals or don't save the animals.
That's
but the planet blows up.
Yeah.
And you know it's blowing up.
Yeah.
So if you know it's blowing up and you don't save the animals.
Am I my animal's keeper? Is that the implication?
I mean, a lot of people are saying, like, obviously you want to save the frames, right? You don't want to waste the time going to rescue the animals.
Yeah.
But what if that was actually a goal that you had to do to complete the game, right? In my mind, they taught you valuable skills that helped you get through the whole entire thing, and you're just going to let the animals explode on the planet like that? You're just going to let them die? You don't want to see that little star fly away from the planet, letting you know that the animals are saved? That's just messed up, man.
It's not that I don't want to see it. I just think it might not be my responsibility to make it happen.
Well, if you know they're there and you can save them, why wouldn't you?
Maybe I got to make sure I get off the planet. I'm not sure. I see this counter down at the little side here, but if I'm Samus, I'm not sure that that's real.
Save the animals. Save the animals.
I don't care either way. I just think it's a funny way to phrase.
Last year, I was actually surprised that Save the Animals won. Like, every year that I've seen it, Kill the Animals has always won. Kill the Animals was in the lead when I saw it yesterday. But
that makes sense.
Yeah, but Save the Animals won, like, last year, I think, so. Yeah, if you just tuned in right now, then you are completely lost. SGDQ, twitch.tv/gamesdonequick. Definitely check it out. It is probably the ultimate celebration in video game skill. It's not even to the point where it's like, let's just beat it as fast as possible anymore, as like the Tetris stuff is going. It's just a display of the art of playing video games and how much talent that it takes to play video games. And it's awesome. It's amazing stuff.
I just love how much knowledge they have about everything. That's so cool.
Yeah.
It's super cool. And it's not I don't just even mean in individual games, right? Obviously individual games, you're an expert on it, you know all the things. That's awesome. They've sort of built up this vocabulary of how to talk about video games in general, and like how to break new games, because we've broken a million games before. So now we have. I feel like it's like how fighting games we're better now than we used to be because we've had all this experience.
Yeah,
and I feel like it's much the same for people trying to break games in that way, that they have all this sort of tech and knowledge now. It's just awesome to see that.
Absolutely. Did you want to? I mean, a lot of people are asking us to talk about the Crash 2 thing that happened on stream. Do you know about that? Like, I guess the runner was really cringeworthy.
I didn't see it. I heard about it only.
Yeah, I only saw part of it, but then I just tuned away, and then I came back later, and so I had missed all the really offensive things. Look, it's not AGDQ's fault. It's not GDQ's fault, right? They're just probably not going to bring him back.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can't be guaranteed that all the runners that you're getting to come and volunteer and do this at their own time are going to be excellent speakers on the microphone, so there's nothing you can really do about that. So
yeah, that sounds right.
And I cannot wait till. So I think it's Frank Cafaldi or somebody, but they're making that Mega Man collection that's coming out of 1 through 6, and it's supposed to be super accurate. Like, when that comes out, I'm gonna play 1 and 2 on stream for sure.
Okay.
Because I feel like I'm actually at a position to be an authority to see how accurate that game is. Because I know some crazy-ass bugs in that game, and I want to see if they're still in there. Okay. I honestly want to see that. Because, like, people are all talking about, like, Mega Man's hard. Like, someone said Mega Man 2 is hard. And I was like, what? Like, Mega Man 2 is the easiest of all the first 6 Mega Man. Nerd Josh did point out that 5 was easier, and he is right about that. 5 is the easiest one. But 2, like, after you played Mega Man 1, like, you go to Mega Man 2, they had normal and hard difficulty, right? It really should have been named easy and easier difficulty. Like, honestly, like, the hard difficulty wasn't even that bad. The hard difficulty was more like normal. Normal was more like easy, to be honest with you. But Mega Man 2 is like one of the easier of the Mega Man. In fact,
I remember beating it. I don't know.
I may still have the VHS recording that me and my brother did of me beating Mega Man 1 and 2 without dying. So, I'm like super amazing at those games.
Shout outs to James.
Dude, I used to blow up all the old NES games. Like I remember even Super Effects was like, He was like, I want to see you stream more games and see you fall at the mercy of like old NES games, like Beautiful Dude's been doing recently, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, I crushed NES games. He's like, even Bayou Billy? And I was like, I beat that game. I don't think I could do it now, but I definitely beat the game. And I have an audio cassette with the ending music recorded.
Wow.
As proof.
Wow.
I mean, that's how I did.
Impressive.
We used to always beat all the games and record all the music so we could listen to them and stuff like that.
Dang.
So, dude, I used to crush Nintendo games, dude. Seriously.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Kid Icarus, I beat Kid Icarus plenty of times. Many times. Many times. That game is so good. That game is so good. So, yeah, I know. Seriously, audio cassettes. What is that? Play that tape.
That'd be cool.
Dude, I have them. They're all upstairs right now. I just don't know if I have a tape player.
Yeah, I was going to say, probably not the ability to play them.
Yeah, that's the problem, to be honest with you. But Bayou Billy had some amazing game. It also had one of the first attempts at speech.
I remember that too.
So when it first came out, I was like, and it sounded really terrible.
I remember that was the first game I can ever remember that had speech.
Yeah.
That's all I remember about it. I remember playing it, but I don't remember anything about the game. That's all I
It was
recall.
the game that combined platform, like the brawling kind of games, and it had driving sections, and it had light gun sections.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it like tried to do all the three different things. So.
Dang.
Yeah.
30 years ago stuff.
That's so scary, dude. It's so scary to know that it was that long.
Well, not quite that long ago. But
yeah, Double Dribble did it too.
Mostly.
Double Dribble.
Yeah.
Same thing with Blades of Steel, which was an amazing hockey game, by the way. I played the hell out of Blades of Steel until I found out how you could totally cheat against the computer. I didn't play it. There was a way to cheat against the computer.
I was not yet into hockey.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you weren't into hockey yet, huh?
No.
Ah, interesting.
That started with maybe NHL Stanley Cup on the SNES.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that's not why I got into hockey, but that was
a really good game.
Time.
Yeah, that was one of the first Mode 7 games.
It was.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
For sure. So, I never played Fester's Quest. Now, I did hear that game.
I remember playing that. Yeah, I remember it was really hard.
Actually, the one game that I did not conquer was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I never conquered that or Battletoads. Those two games.
I never did Battletoads either. Yeah.
Battletoads, I got to the tower, and I would get up like 3/4 to the tower and then die, and then I never owned it, so I was borrowing it from a friend, so I had to give it back, and I never could beat it in time. But that game did break me.
I did beat Turtles.
I never owned that one either, so I only played it like maybe 2 days total, and I got to stage 4 or something like that. So.
Is that the water stage?
Yeah. I think so. Yeah.
That was the one. That was
Ninja Gaiden. Okay, someone asked about Ninja Gaiden 1. I beat that game without continuing. Literally, so I didn't know how to kill the final boss without dying. So the only way I knew how to kill the final boss at first was only with jump and slash. So the last stage is designed in such a way that jump and slash was the hardest sub weapon to have when you get to the boss, because even right before the boss, there's like 19 candles that all drop every weapon except for jump and slash, because jump and slash was literally like you jump into the boss and go, they're dead.
Yeah.
Right? So I thought that was the only way to beat Ninja Gaiden was you have jump and slash. So I literally played the whole... So when you die to a boss, you continued at the boss right away, except the last boss. When you die to the boss, they threw you all the way to the beginning of the first level, to the beginning of the last level, right? So I played the whole game, no death, got to the first boss, killed him with jump and slash, died, got sent back to the beginning of that stage, played that whole stage, didn't die, got there with jump and slash, killed the second one, died, sent all the way back, went all the way to that stage, didn't die, got jump and slash, killed the last boss. So I did it without continuing. Like, literally, I did it without continuing, so. Now I could probably do it without dying if I actually played it a lot more, but I'm just not, I don't have the time anymore, so. Yep.
I played old games. I don't know. What do you want from me?
Dude, I was obsessed with games back then, dude. That's all I did was just sit there and play games.
Amazing. Nerds. That's for sure.
Alright, fine. I'll stop talking. Enough about me bragging about all my video game.
I just don't remember it that much. Obviously I'm a little bit younger than you, so...
Little?
For some of those games, well, compared to probably... some people in the chat I know are also older, but some people in the chat are definitely like 20 years younger than us, so... a little bit. But so when it comes to like remembering games from that period of time, probably not as good.
Right. Oh man.
But it was fun.
NES and SNES era, dude. Never be top for me. Never be top for me.
Yeah. SNES is. I mean, I definitely remember more about SNES because that was a little bit older for me, so I was in there.
Right. Okay.
I'm not very early 30s anymore, as of just recently, in fact.
Okay.
Early 30s, I think, still applies, but
okay.
You know.
Anyways. I'll stop. I'll shut up now.
All right. Well, I guess that's about it then. Enough rambling.
Yeah. UltraChenTV /games. I'm sorry. Twitch.tv/games done quick. Definitely check it out. So.
Thanks to everybody, by the way, who's supported the Patreon so far. We don't want to go too overboard in plugging that, but just shout outs to everybody who has supported it so far. It's very nice. We appreciate it. And if you're one of the people who has, paid for us to look at one of your videos, just send us a email or something, and we're happy to get on that.
What was the worst NES game? Tag Team Wrestling or Deadly Towers? They were both pretty garbage, I'm not going to lie.
I don't remember.
Tag Team Wrestling was by Data East. Very bad wrestling game. Of course, Deadly Towers was a Broderbund game. The only way I ever played that game was to cheat, where if you
That's awesome.
Dude, my game knowledge is ridiculous from back then, like seriously. But yeah, also shout outs to people who have donated through the PayPal and stuff like that, and we've had some very generous donations.
Indeed,
recently,
we have lately,
so thank you.
Highly appreciate and am surprised by, and also
I know exactly. So hopefully that means we'll be able to get lots of cool, better equipment as well. So
I mean, that's part of why I'm getting a better PC so as to stream.
Yeah. So
okay.
Oh, what they said that it cut out. My Deadly Towers cheat literally cut out. So it was like basically if you basically played Deadly Towers and you died right away, and you would get a password to continue. I think it's the 4th and 5th letters. If you just swapped them, if you just replaced the 4th and 5th letters with capital F and capital E, you just get all these power-ups. I'm pretty sure it was those two spots. Like you would get like this double sword and stuff like that. So that was the only way I ever played that game. So yeah, there you go. So
all right.
Dude, I could talk about the NES forever, dude. So let's stop now.
Let's quit it.
Okay. All right. Did it really cut again? Wow, I think it legitimately cut again.
Well, nobody
Too bad.
will know.
You'll have to see it on YouTube. There you go. All right, cool. All right. Okay, cool. So, yeah. Anything left to say?
Just go to twitch.tv/gamesdonequick.
This was not an awkward ending at all. All right, good night, everybody.